Tyffanie with your host, Tyffanie Morgan.
That's right, sweeties, it's me. It's me. Well, hello there, my little sweeties, my little love muffins from all around the big blue world. This is your hostess, Miss Tyffanie Morgan, calling you live from Kingston, Ontario, Canada, the home of limestone and the home to me, Miss Tyffanie Morgan. That's right, sweeties, that's right. And it's the home to you too, probably. Most of my listeners are probably here in Kingston. How are you enjoying the weather? It's springtime. Springtime for Kingston and Tyffanie. I've been told I am not a singer. That's not always interesting. Let's just pause when I say that. I've been told I'm not a singer. Pause. Let's just ponder that. Yes. There are some shady people out there who are like, Tyffanie, you do know you're not a singer, right? I'm like, I know I've never said I was a professional singer. I just love singing. And why can't people sing? Why can't people just get up and start singing? Like, come on now. Hello, Jazz. Hello, Mama. But yeah. Hey, if you feel the joy in your soul, get up and start dancing and get up and start singing. There we go. Praise. Maybe it's because of my background. There was always some sort of singing going on. Maybe not so like get up and dance sort of singing, but there was always singing and stuff like that. But like, yeah, it's good for you. It's good for you. I think it's part of the human experience. But sweet peas, if you don't know who I am, I'm Tyffanie Morgan. I am a local drag queen here in Kingston, Ontario, Canada, and I've been doing this for quite a few years. I celebrated 21 years of doing drag this month, March, that's right, March 2021, 21 years for me. I started in 2000, wow, goodness sakes, and I still don't know how to do it well. But sweet peas, how are you doing? Springtime. I am just elated. I'm also panicking. I'm also panicking because of all the little things that I'm like, oh, I am behind on that. I'm behind on that. There's so many things that I have to do. Wow, wow. And I'm looking around, and I'm just thinking the plants, because if you don't know me, I also do like a hashtag tips garden. So I post a lot of photos of my garden and stuff like that on Instagram and on Facebook. And this year I'm challenged quite a few of the viewers out there to join me with the Grow With Me challenge, where we're going to be, joining. We have a little Facebook group, and you can join it and share your growing stories and share your growing people. There are people who have seedlings already. They're growing. Some of them have already transplanted them into larger pots. It's just crazy. Sorry. Let's take a moment and take a look at that, shall we? So if you go to Tyffanie.com, so that's Tyffanie, TYFFANIE.com, there are links to the Grow With Me page, group. Sorry, it's a Facebook group, and we have photos already. So Mackenzie posted cucamelon seedlings. So cucamelons are one of the plants that I will be growing as well. I haven't planted them yet, but he already has seedlings, and they already have their true leaves on them. So a true leaf, when we're talking about a seedling, so every seedling has the baby leaves, and these leaves are just round. Quite often, they pretty much they don't look like the parent plant, and these leaves are they're not even. I don't even know if they're leaves. I think they are leaves, but anyway. And then the true leaf is the second set of leaves, or the second set of leaves that then have the shape of the actual plant. So those are called true leaves, and that is. That's when sometimes if you started the seeds, then that's when you start thinking about moving on up to a larger pot if they need to be in a larger pot or something like that. But these photos, yeah, they don't need to be in a larger pot. Actually, with cucamelons, because they're like a twining, vining sort of thing. Well, they're not twining. How do they? Anyway, they're more like a vine. So, yeah, you gotta have some support for them because they'll start vining very quickly as seedlings. And the vines, the stems are so light and it's easy to break them. So, yeah, get some sticks in there for them soon. But yeah, a really great germination rate. Um, we also see Marcia has started some tomatoes, and then transplanted them already. Francesco's showing this was a great photo Francesco shared. So one of the things that I was suggesting early on is to start saving some of your takeout containers. Start saving some of your takeout containers, and then you can use those to start your seeds indoors. But Francesco, he has ice cube trays. He uses ice cube trays that he has drilled holes into them, so they're obviously not good for ice cubes anymore. Unless it's already pre-frozen ice cubes, but it's not good for making new ice cubes. But he used those with little holes just to start the seedlings, and they look really good. Like it's a nice idea because I just think about myself with all the little seed trays and all that kind of stuff. But if they're in an ice cube tray that has like a really kind of firm frame to them, they're easy to move around, like especially if you're moving them from window to window or something like that. I kind of like that idea. Um, yeah, and then Yvonne, you're sharing some of your marigolds already started indoors. Oh my goodness! Look at those little babies there. What? I can't remember what you wrote here. Um. Oh, goodness sakes. Okay. Well, anyway. Oh, there we go. 4 o'clock sunflowers, cosmos. That's great. Tomatoes too. Yeah. So this weekend being Easter weekend, I will be planting. I will be putting seeds into soil. Finally, I'll be doing that. I know, sweet peas. I'm a little behind. Uh, when I did the maths, I assumed this would be a good weekend to do it because for planning out from May 2 for. But with the weather outside, I don't know if you're a gardener, the seasons will dictate these sort of things. And the seasons, to me, are dictating, Tyffanie, you should have planted 3 weeks ago. You should have planted 3 weeks ago because things are really, really going quickly out there. I'm surprised. I haven't posted any photos yet, but my tulips are starting to pop up. I'm sure tulips are popping up for you too. I don't have any crocuses, but I know crocuses have already popped up. So the tulips are already pushing out, and they're like about 2 inches or so, which to me seems a bit like it seems really early for tulips because normally by this time my Scilla sibirica or Siberian squill or that little blue flower that you sometimes see, like it's very prolific in downtown Kingston. You see some lawns filled with them and everything like that. Those haven't even started really popping out of the soil for me, and normally those are in bloom first, and then the tulips. So it's a race. It's a race, sweet peas. I don't know who's going to get to the finish line first. Is it the tulips going to be in bloom first, or the Scilla, or Scilla, whatever, Siberica? We'll see. But I think that's just kind of showing how odd this, how early and how odd this spring is. One of the rules of thumb that I do. Oh, by the way, you're listening to CFRC 101.9 FM here in Kingston, Ontario. And you can listen to us on CFRC.ca as well. One of the rules of thumb that I have, and there's no science, absolutely no science whatsoever behind this, but I have these ferns. and they came with the house. They're fiddlehead. They're like a fiddlehead fern. I don't know the technical, the actual name for them or anything like that. But I'm surprised that they know when to start growing. So they will only start growing once the first frost, like once the chances of frost are gone. And I swore I saw a little bit of well, we there are frosts, but no, so they're not growing yet. So, but I think they're getting ready. They're getting ready, but they're not growing yet. So there are many chances between now and May for frost. And in fact, I think this week the temperatures overnight are going to go below zero, so those are frosts. So, but I think spring's coming early. Spring's coming early to Kingston. Once I see those fiddleheads growing, then I can have things out and stuff like that. Speaking of which, another note for myself: 4-day weekends. So much work that gardeners have to do. So a 4-day weekend is great. I'll probably be putting my greenhouse together. I'll be doing some filming of me planting some seeds. And this is all, hoping that I don't overindulge this weekend, because then there'll be a day or two of recovery. Here's to no overindulgences. Oh, goodness sakes. Can you imagine? Yeah, I can't imagine. You're listening to Tyffanie Morgan, drag queen extraordinaire, Kingston's finest on CFRC. So I want to take a moment. So we, in the drag queen community, in the drag community at large, as in Canada, Ontario, we lost a really big, big person, big name, influential person, Michelle Ross, a black drag queen artist from Toronto, has passed away. She's been in Kingston here, so there was a show during the summer months, and she's come down here to do that show at Stages nightclub. That's for the Friends for Life bike rally. She's performed here in Kingston at Stages nightclub, and amazing Diana Ross impersonator. Amazing. Like, you would think. Say love. Say love. Say love. Exactly, Jazz. Michelle Ross, rest in power, you powerful woman. Oh my gosh. But oh my gosh. Like embodied Michelle through and through. I did not know Michelle personally. I only knew Michelle through career, and just to be able to say hello at Stages. I think a couple of years ago that was my first time actually being introduced to Michelle at Stages nightclub. So oh my goodness, it's a true loss. It's a true loss. So rest in power, Michelle Ross out there. Thank you so much. Thank you for the music. Thank you for the performances. And thank you for being a very strong black role model in the queer community, which is always a great thing. And just a role model altogether. My gosh. And she was in the career for so long, wasn't she, Jazz? Oh, goodness sakes. Yeah. I don't know where to go from that. It's a sad thing. It's a sad thing, but it's great to see how everyone on Facebook and stuff are just really sharing some of the awesomeness of Michelle. This awesomeness of Michelle. So thank you so much for that. Thank you. Rest in power. All right. So take a little moment there. Take a little moment. So yeah, it's Easter weekend. It's Easter weekend. What are you doing, Sweet Peas? Are you doing anything special for the Easter long weekend? Like I said, us gardeners, we're probably doing some gardening, doing some yard work, perhaps cleaning out, if you have a patio or something, cleaning out some pots. If the squirrels haven't already dug into them, gosh, the squirrels are getting a little bit ravenous right now. Let me tell you. Holy jumping. I had this one squirrel I have this seed bell that's hanging off my clothesline, but that squirrel was trying the darndest to get to get along the clothesline to get to the seed bell. It was just it was a little bit crazy. Jazz is like, what are you doing this long weekend? Sitting in lockdown. But yeah, are you doing so yes, we are in lockdown. No one's really gathering in person, or if you are, let's just do it secretly and let's maybe not do it. Maybe rethink that. Um, but squirrels, like, yes. Some friends of mine were saying that they were worried that the squirrels would dig up the tulips. The tulips are in growth right now, so they have roots out there and stuff like that. So it's going to be tough for the squirrels to dig them up. But bet if that squirrel is dedicated, they're going to dig up that tulip. They're going to dig it. The biggest problem with tulips is the fall time, because they're not in growth. If squirrels know where they are, they dig them up. But then you get those lovely incidences where they dig them up and then they rebury them for later. And then in the springtime, you're like, I swear I put those tulips over there, but why are like 3 of them over on the other side? I've had that. I was like, well, I guess the squirrels wanted a different spot for them. So what was that? Oh, but you could be doing, like, connecting online, doing some Zooms or something like that. I'm like I said, I'm going to be doing a lot of gardening. I'm also picking up. There's a local restaurant who are doing turkey meals. I'm going to pick one. Actually, I'm picking 2 up. Hey, why not? Why not? 2 turkey meals. 2 turkey meals. I'm picking those up, and then we'll have them for the weekend with my roommate. Yeah. So it'll be something nice. It'll be something nice. And today is well, not just today, but it's also Passover. Passover, a Jewish holiday. So hopefully I can pronounce this correctly. Hag Sameach. Happy Passover. And happy Easter. And happy, it's a New Year as well. It was the spring equinox. It was the Persian New Year. Also, I think it's celebrated through many other traditions as well. So, yeah, a lot, springtime, a lot happening. I'm excited. I'm a gardener. What can I say? I'm getting excited for things. Um, and Sweet Peas, are you into the TikToks? Are you looking at TikTok? Do you have an account? Are you sharing stuff on there? I feel a little bit of a Luddite when it comes to TikTok. I feel a little bit of a Luddite. I really don't know how people are making these videos and posting them. I have an account so I can look at them. I like looking at them. A friend of mine said to me the other day, just yesterday, uh, she's like, I don't watch TV anymore. I look at TikTok. I just scroll through every video on TikTok, and I don't watch TV anymore. I haven't watched a TV program in forever. Uh, and I'm like, oh, I had no idea. But then she also said to me that there are a million plant videos on TikTok, apparently. So if you're one of those people out there, like the houseplant craze, there is houseplants are, like, people are going gaga crazy for houseplants. They're all over the place. People are like, oh, I have my Monstera, blah blah blah. I have my Deliciosa, blah blah blah. I have Caliath, blah blah blah. It's turning into like I don't know, like like the tulip fancy sort of thing. Like, there are plants out there that are so prized that they're going for like huge dollars and stuff like that. But people are just really, really into houseplants right now. I can see that with my British gardening shows and stuff like that too. So they have incorporated segments in their programming to talk about houseplants. because there's a lot more gardeners out there that are into houseplants. I don't. That's not necessarily me. I do like my veggies. I do like my outdoor perennials and stuff like that. And I like my tropicals, which sometimes reconnect to the houseplants because a lot of houseplants are tropical plants. Where was I going with that? Anyway, so I guess there's a million videos on TikTok, and you can do the hashtag, and what was it? Plant talk. So plant and then talk TOK, TikTok. And you can find videos about how to people sharing their plants because that's a really fun thing is with this new media and stuff like that is to share your gardens, share your plants with others. It's a bit of a prideful thing. Yes, it's okay. It's okay. They've been doing plant growers out there have been sharing their plants and with friends and families and even their community for years. There's all these uh, uh, societies out there from like the big old Victorian times where there would be like oh, horticultural society fairs and stuff like that where you bring at the end of the season you bring your biggest vegetables or your best like tomatoes or then there was also like daffodils, share your best daffodils and stuff. So this has been going on for generations, so being able to share stuff like that on TikTok, that makes complete sense to me. But yeah, let me tell you, I've fallen into the plant trap now. I'm looking at that and I'm like, oh, look at all, like they're sharing and giving advice. Some of that advice, though, I question a little bit of that advice. Because it was interesting. This one piece of advice, they were suggesting to cut off dead leaves, and I would suggest to cut off dead leaves too. It's for an aesthetic purpose. You don't want to see dead leaves. Uh, First and foremost, aesthetic purpose, cut it off. Secondly, you don't want potentially any mold or mildew to take root in the dead leaf, which could happen, or pests can hide in it. Like, there could be some aphids hiding in the dead leaves and then they jump onto the plant. But some of the reasoning for cutting off the dead leaves, people are describing like vampirism almost. They're like the dead leaf is going to steal nutrients from the plant. I'm like, no, that has no reason. Like the dead leaf is not going to steal nutrients. It's not going to suck the life out of the plant. It's a dead leaf. Dead just means dead. they there's dead leaf, like this plant growing out in nature would have had a dead leaf anyway, and the dead leaf would have just rotted away, maybe even the wind may have taken it away or something like that, but it's not sucking the life out of the plant. I'm putting my foot down, sweet peas. There we go. If anyone says otherwise, ooh, I'm wagging my finger at you right now. But how do I get on TikTok? That's my question. How do I feel like such a Luddite. I don't know how to do these videos, but I'm like, I gotta get some videos on TikTok now about plants. How do I do that? Anyone out there can help me? Anyone out there? Help me. How do you make them interesting? Yeah, that's a problem too. I'm like, I feel like such a Luddite. I'm sure if I did make the videos, they'd be like, not really interesting videos. People would be like, that's so boring. Swipe. Don't hit the like button. Oh my word. So I'm just looking at my little list here of things to talk about. Um, oh yeah, so yeah, I'm hoping to do some filming on the weekend. Tiff's Garden, yeah, in full face and everything, and then hopefully get those shared with you, published there. Um, yeah, the tulips. Anything else popping up in your gardens? Anyone who has like a backyard garden or anything like that in Kingston? Anything growing yet? Like I said, the tulips. I do have some daffodils that start showing their growth only because they're really close to the foundation. So the concrete foundation. So that always creates us a warm environment, a warm growing environment, and things will start growing quicker. That could be a nice little tip for weeds. Alan's like, weeds are growing. They are most of the time the first things to start growing. It's important to get on to those then too, right? Especially if they're in a garden patch where you're going to be growing. Now would be a great time to get those perennial roots of weeds out and try to get all the roots out and everything like that. Pulmonaria officinalis is often the first one to come back. Oh, yes, because you have some pulmonary, some lungwort is a common name for that. I tried to grow some. It didn't like where I put it. I put it in full shade area. I thought it was gonna. It didn't like it. It is a shade loving plant, but it was full dry shade. It did not like it. But now would be a great time to, if you see some weed plants coming out, easily pinch them out. Dig them up, get the roots out, sort of situation for that garden bed. Alan says, "You're welcome to come over and pull out all the weeds from our garden patch." uh, Al's garden or Tiff's garden? I don't know. I don't know. Uh, uh, yeah, so that's something I really need to focus on this weekend as well, is to take a look at the greenhouse, put the panels, the plastic uh, window panels back in, get it cleaned up and ready for the seedlings and stuff like that. I'm probably going to be growing a lot of marigolds because I have some friends, and that's a nice little thing too with gardeners. And Francesco, thank you last year for sharing your tomato some of your tomato seedlings. You had too many of them, and you shared them with me, and I grew them in the greenhouse, and I love them, and we'll be growing those as well, church tomatoes. And but I'm going to grow some extra marigolds because I have a billion seeds. It's like a jar full of seeds. And I think I'm going to grow some extra, and then I can share them with neighbors and friends. It's a nice little thing to do. Especially this one neighbor who just moved in, and they have a overgrown patch. They have an overgrown patch, and I'm like, yeah, a little marigold, some color, something to put in there, and it's nice and inexpensive, especially for them. When you get a new house and you have a garden patch that's overgrown, especially a large one, and you can easily get overwhelmed to be like, I have no idea what to do with this. So sometimes, would you like some marigolds? Here you go. So marigolds are also good too for the organic gardening. They keep the pests away, quote unquote, air quotations. They keep the pests away. So yeah. Anyway, sweet peas, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you go because it's already that time. It's already that time. So happy Easter, happy Passover, happy New, all that. Wherever you are, sweet peas, I hope you're staying warm and safe. And give my love to you. Give your love to your families. Give your love to your friends. Mwah. You stay safe now. Oh my God. I totally forgot. It's on my notes here. Happy Trans Day of Visibility today, too. That's right, sweet peas. March 31st. There we go. Gosh. Oh my goodness sakes. How am I going to incorporate that into the radio program?